A while ago, I got really into Southern Gothic movies. I blame True Detective. So I figured, why not find some horror movies within this niche? Eventually, along came a movie called What Josiah Saw. And I said sure, because why not? I'll tell you why not. I downloaded the trailer to put it here, but the converter I used turns the trailer Spanish. I don't know how to fix this.
E cometemos grande erro, então poderemos salvar.
What are you even saying? This movie doesn't know what it wants to be. Is it a paranormal thriller with a haunted house and a haunted past? Is it a movie about a curse that forces together a broken family? Is it a slow burn movie that shows you the ripples of trauma and how those most affected cope with said trauma? And the movie, with a lot of bold confidence, says,
but wait, there's more!
There's also ghosts, angels, abortions and adoptions, heists, magic, drugs, human trafficking, drama, and then they boldly cram all of that into 2 hours and not a minute longer. Scenes drag themselves through broken glass, and then at other times, the movie rushes through them. I feel like I'm being gaslit by the internet on this one. A lot of people are saying this was amazing, a gut puncher, an atmospheric slow burn with an ending that stuns you for hours. But no one else seems to be as bothered and confused as I am. Am I so out of touch? No, it is the internet who is wrong. Before I dive into this, I will stop and say 2 things. 1, I wanted to like this movie. I want to like this movie. And number 2, I'm going to start implementing spoiler alerts from now on. So, you have been warned. Spoilers ahead. The movie begins with a son, Thomas, trying to start a tractor, as his father, Josiah, drunkenly watches from inside. There you go, that's what Josiah saw. He saw a tractor. Then it cuts to both of them drinking whiskey, bonding in the kitchen. These 2 characters feel like they've been through thick and thin, chewed up and spat out, and at this point, are simply hanging along for the ride. They're clearly unstable.
He shed out a rainbow out his little ass.
Like they're both individually a bad day away from snapping. Right afterwards, Josiah calls Thomas ignorant for believing in God. He does it jokingly, but the scene gets intense. Josiah begins sheepishly apologizing.
Suppose ignorant was poor choosing of my words. It's a bad judgment, that's all.
At this point, I thought maybe Thomas was more unstable and Josiah was simply trying to placate him, but slipped up. To cheer him up, he promises to let Thomas drive into town. The scene cuts to night as we get 2 shots of Josiah and Thomas sleeping. Thomas is restless and gets up, and the camera pans out to the front yard. There, we see a cheap gravestone carved into a tree. Miriam Graham, darling wife, beloved mom. As a standalone scene, the beginning of this movie holds itself all right. But with it combined with the rest of the movie, then all of it was completely unnecessary. For example, this kind of father-son dynamic never ever appears again, ever. We get a title card, Chapter 1, The Ghost of Willow Road. We cut to a city to find the town mayor talking to some oil representatives. And the oil reps are like, hey, so you're broke and we're not. Take our money and let us build on your land. But the mayor's like, you might want to avoid that house out there. It's haunted. Ooh. We don't fucking care about ghosts. No, you don't understand. The audience needs their exposition dump. We learned that Miriam hung herself on that tree, and Thomas found her corpse. Miriam is now haunting the house. The scene of her legs hanging in the air as Thomas is huddled up on the ground was freaky. But why is Thomas sitting like he's been grounded? Huh? Grounded? Because he's on the ground? Mommy's dead now, so time out for Thomas. He's not even crying, he just looks like he's pouting. I'm just tearing into this poor kid after his mother hanged herself. Just kidding, these 2 are actors, and this is a movie. Both Josiah and Thomas are now sitting in a parking lot. The 2 of them discuss their other siblings, and it doesn't sound like everyone is on good terms. A woman walks by, and Josiah scolds Thomas for looking at her, saying she's too good for him. Thomas says he's friends with the little boy. Josiah berates him some more, and Thomas storms off. He goes inside the store, and Thomas and the little child both stare at each other. The mother comes by, and Thomas leaves before he's spotted. The movie makes you wonder if they're going to be important, to which I can answer, I guess. I mean, no, not really. Cut back to the now allegedly haunted house, and one night, Josiah snaps awake. And I swear I thought he was having a heart attack or something. Can I be annoying for a moment and mention how much I dislike this audio they used? because they reuse it throughout the movie a lot. Anyways, no heart attack. Turns out he was visited by Miriam, who told him to fix his life because she's burning in hell. Understandable. If I was burning in hell, I too would be like, hey, get me out of here, this place sucks. Josiah suddenly becomes extremely religious. He gets another vision, but he looks confused this time. He mentions to Thomas that he keeps having them, but we, the audience, don't see him reacting anymore. The first 2 times he had visions, we were there. We saw him physically reacting to it. He's not just making these up. House cleaning montage. Josiah stops drinking. We don't see him getting his visions anymore, but he keeps saying there's more to be done, telling Thomas to clean himself up, fix up the house, and revive the land. And if they do this, good old Miriam's going to heaven. Soon enough, because the movie definitely needed this scene, Josiah pressures Thomas into touching himself. Okay, by this point, it's evident Josiah has lost his sanity and is a lot darker of a character than we originally thought. The mayor kind of mentions this in passing earlier, how hard it must be to live with Josiah.
Real saint of a woman. God tested. Being married to a man like Josiah Graham.
Again, I thought his behaviors and actions were due to the visions he was having. Like perhaps he's become possessed or something? We already have discussions of angels and hell, so I figured possessions weren't off the table. Nope. It's dumber. I promise. We get the scene of Josiah sitting in a chair all evil-like. He tells Thomas that he needs him to do something, but he'll tell him tonight.
Say there's something else needs me doing. Says I need to wait till dark to tell you.
It's dark now.
God's got something he wants done, boy.
And then the movie decides to cut to a completely different person. No more Thomas and Josiah. It's time we watched this guy. And this guy is getting his freak on. Why? Because he likes drugs. The woman mentions how the drugs are really strong, how they could take out an elephant.
Careful with that. It ain't been cut yet. They'll drop an elephant as is.
You know what else is really strong? Chekhov's gun. Boom! Another title card. Chapter 2. Eli and... oh boy. This guy is Eli. If you paid attention and had subtitles like I did, then you would realize this is one of the siblings. Otherwise, you might have not understood what the fuck these two were saying.
The boss is saying things for me.
Oh, also, he just stomps the shit out of his alarm clock. For no reason. He just does it. And after watching this movie, it's still so out of character for him. Whatever. Anyway, Eli's chilling out a trailer. A bounty hunter pulls up. We learn that there's a little girl missing, and that's when we find out Eli once was caught with a 16-year-old. Therefore, he's instantly suspect number 1. Or at least top 5. He also has quite a bad reputation. And this only is underlined more when he goes into town. Eli enters a shady bar, asking for a man named Boone. These 2 gents give him a hard time. Eli truly is not cared for in this town. Boone lets him in, but he's like, but wait, because currently I'm bribing the sheriff.
Eli, I'm gonna give the sheriff here an envelope full of money.
I guess I'm more bothered at this than I should be, but don't you think the sheriff would be like, hey, I don't want other people seeing us do this. Get them to go away. Eli is in lots of debt with this assumed to be mob boss. He hands over money, but it's not enough. Then Eli places the drugs down on his desk, says it's easily worth another $2,000, but Boone gets extremely offended.
You just tossed smack on my desk. Did you just toss smack on my desk? Do I have to ask the fucking question again?
Did you just put smack on my desk? This makes 0 sense. Boone has no problem paying off the sheriff, but then is like, whoa, drugs are bad, Eli, think of the community. Yet, right afterwards, says he's going to kill Eli.
I'm gonna have you killed, Eli. Dead and buried.
Drugs are bad, but I'm gonna murder you so bad. Eli says he'll pay off the debt.
Work off the debt, all 10 bar.
Boone says something like,
Well, you might as well start by hitting me in the deck with a hammer.
and then immediately begins being like, Eli, do you know about Romani?
You ever hear of Romani?
Romani.
Here is some interesting historical information about the Nazis from World War II. Did you know the Nazis removed gold teeth from people? Well, anyway, there's a carnival of Romani people who come into town, and they're sitting on bars of gold.
'Cause it's a fact, Jack.
'Cause it's a fact, Jack. He gives Eli an ultimatum. Either get the gold and I'll wipe your slate clean, or I'll fucking kill you.
Have that record of yours wiped clean. New start for you. Or I kill you right here and now.
I really do not think the threat was necessary. He could have kept it as, if you get the gold, I'll wipe your slate clean, because Boone clearly wants nothing to do with Eli,
Well, you might as well start by hitting me in the deck with a hammer.
so why go through the efforts of also trying to get him killed? Anyway, cut to Eli heading out to the carnival with the 2 fellers from the bar. The plan is simple. Eli parties, distracts everyone while these 2 do whatever. Eli does a fucking terrible job because all he does is sit there silently. But the plot says, "Perfect!" And a woman approaches him. She's like, "Have you ever gotten your fortune told before? Here, come get your fortune told by a blind woman." So Eli leaves with the woman despite needing to be there to distract everyone. Perfect! This scene lasts so damn long, but the blind medium makes Eli drink a mysterious tea, and then shortly afterwards, she's like, "You're the reason why she burns."
You are why she burns.
And then she just goes bananas. Bananas.
Muerta vida, muerta vida, muerta vida, muerta vida, muerta vida.
Apparently, the medium can feel all the sin that Eli has done, and she's freaking the fuck out. Then suddenly, Go-Go Gadget plot progression.
I've been through. You've come for our gold.
This is such a dumb fucking scene, dude. Like, I'm actually getting mad all over again. She can tell Eli's here for the gold.
You've come for our gold.
Shut the fuck up. This was such a stupid way to do this. And then we immediately get this scene, and I wish I could show you it, but it's like a minute long, and there's no chance YouTube will be cool with that. For the next minute or so, there's no audio. Only this ear-ringing noise. The woman, I guess, goes to alert everyone, but all hell breaks loose. What the fuck? The fight just started. Why is this guy already falling over? But wait for it. Remember the little girl who went missing? These people stole her and were going to traffic her. Or something. Eli then gets his head slammed into a table and we see whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. This never makes a reappearance, by the way. So, thanks for showing us this. Eli comes to, and we find that the big guy is dead. There's this huge titan of a man who enjoys doing a little snorty snort. Eli's like, "Shoot, man, if you like to party, I too have drugs."
You like to party, big boy?
The big guy takes the little baggie, snorts it again, and again, and again, and dies. There you have it. There's your fucking Chekhov's gun.
They'll drop an elephant as is.
You mean to tell me they never patted Eli down before setting him here? Whatever. Eli steals the chest of gold, but first knocks on a door and then assumingly kills a guy. Is that the medium right there? She sure simmered down from earlier. Eli grabs the kid's hand and they leave. The medium watches and just smiles. Oh, don't try and stop them or shout or anything. Hey everyone, they're now leaving. Had no problem being loud as hell just a moment ago. The woman from earlier spots them though, and she's the one who causes a ruckus. You took the girl. Then she proceeds to turn around and runs away. You were technically the closest one to them. Where are you going? But now Eli is being chased. Oh look, she has decided to now chase after them. Eli and the girl and the chest of gold all escape. Eli realizes his shirt is covered in blood, so he takes it off in the middle of the street. As he's undressing himself, he asks the girl, "You don't talk much or what?"
You don't talk much or what?
"Oh, sorry. I have no idea who you are and just witnessed you brutally murder a man in front of my very eyes." Eli returns to Boone and hands him the gold. Boone's like, "Okay, you're good to go, champ." He pulls out a bar of gold as Eli is beginning to leave. And wait for it. Boone died. He just dies. The fucking child looks back at Eli like, welp, just completely uninterested that she has now witnessed 2 deaths in front of her very own eyes. Mondays, am I right? Eli grabs her and they leave in a truck. Eli drops her off at the sheriff's office, and I will admit, this was funny. I like this. The sheriff tells Eli to leave town, and I do like the look of defeat that Eli displays. He returns to his trailer and finds the same oil company letter that Thomas received. Well, that's Eli's chapter. Of what importance was the little girl? Absolutely none. At all. There was no reason to include this human trafficking plotline at all. The movie cuts to a suburban area. There are 45 minutes left in this movie at this point, and the movie boldly decides it's time to introduce another brand new character with backstories and complexities and trauma. So yeah, we meet Thomas and Eli's sister. Chapter 3, Mary May I. The movie doesn't know what to do with her, and it's blatantly clear. She's a weed-smoking photographer who's also really into lifting and fitness, and she decided at a young age to get sterilized, but now she wants to be a mother but can't, but thinks she's ready for adoption now, and she's also married and the marriage is complicated, something about infidelity. Mary is hands down the most complex character in the entire movie, and they decide to introduce her at the end. Mary gets told she's going to need a psychiatrist's opinion as a third-party vote before they move this whole adoption thing along. She's not happy about that. Cut to her in the kitchen section of the store. Cut to her seeing some kitchen utensils. Now she's gone. This never comes up again. EDM jump scare, which actually pissed me off. Hubby returns home. He realizes she never picked up groceries. She just stares. Cut to nighttime, and they're hosting a dinner with friends. Everyone at dinner is discussing teaching children. This woman says this.
I don't care how old they get, I'm always gonna need that mama fix. Because they're her babies.
Oh, this discussion is making Mary uncomfortable. The two of them get asked about adoption. They're like, well, it's more or less an idea. And another person says, oh, that's wonderful. And Mary gets mad. What's wonderful about it? You don't know me. You don't know what kind of parents we would be. Like antagonizing, despite everyone being like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to offend. Cut to after dinner, and hubby finds out Mary hasn't been taking her medication.
Counting pills now?
And then they fight about how the party went. She apologizes, and is then like, don't ever assume you know what a child will mean to me. And he storms off. Cut to nighttime, and he's cutting an apple. She tries to apologize again, but he instead decides to do this.
Don't you ever get mad. Don't you ever get mad. Don't you ever get mad.
And it's because it's a dream sequence. She's stabbing herself. Blam, blam, blam. No, just kidding. That's another dream sequence. Cut to the next day. Mary sees her psychiatrist. She goes on a long, dramatic rant about what having a baby will do for her. Mary's like, I'm hollow inside. There's a hole inside of me. I feel nothing. I want to give love. Cut to her driving home. She spots Eli's truck in her driveway. Eli being here bothers her greatly. Hubby leaves, and the two of them talk. Turns out Mary had already seen the oil company's letters.
This letter.
I know what it says.
Eli's like, okay, then what the fuck? This is big bucks. It'll get me out of trouble with the law.
That could really get me out of things. That could get me a new start.
She's hesitant about signing. Eli then randomly says, hey, remember that game we used to play as kids?
Hey, you remember that game we used to play when we were kids? I would ask Mary, may I? You'd have to do it no matter what.
That's not really how asking someone works, pal. So he goes, well, I'm asking again.
I'm asking again.
And then we get the most dramatic pan over to
live, laugh, love.
She agrees. She wants to go to the house and, quote-unquote, make sure it's gone. He's very confused because, again, he just needs her signature. Then she asks if Thomas, or Tommy, as they both refer to him, has signed yet. We learn that there's some bad blood between Eli and Tommy. She says, what about Paul?
What about Paul?
To which he says, don't worry, I'll deal with him.
Don't worry. I'll deal with our father.
And then fade into the next scene. They both pull up to the house, but Mary is hesitant to get out. Eli walks over to the tree, and Mary and Tommy greet each other. Tommy and Eli meet, and instantly, bad blood has been resolved. Wow, that was easy.
Well, Seymour, I made it, despite your directions.
Ah, Superintendent Chalmers, welcome.
Josiah stays inside. He doesn't greet anyone. Eli and Mary walk out to where the tractor is. They discuss very subtly about how there's something buried here, and what if the oil company finds it?
Can't have him find it.
Yeah.
Cut to Josiah and Tommy. Josiah is pretty much like, Thomas, your brother and sister are doing sex to each other, and it's the reason your mom's burning. What the fuck? Cut to Eli with a shovel, and he begins digging. Cut back to Tommy and Mary having a chat. Her phone rings. It's hubby. Mary, you're gonna be a mother. You mean to tell me the psychiatrist heard her intense depression rant and was like, yeah, get this woman a child, stat. She's overwhelmed with happiness, but she stops. She looks horrified. She looks outside at the tractor. Josiah randomly is like, well, best get to it then.
Let's get to it then.
Eli can't find what he's looking for. He runs back to the house, Mary turns around, and the whole family is there. Eli says, well, I guess we're gonna have our own sit down.
Well, I guess we're gonna have ourselves a little sit down, huh?
And Josiah's like, yep. And then, for some reason, it's night now. Pause. The sun was still out when Eli was walking back to the house. The sun was still out when Mary looked outside. How fucking long did they just stand around before it became night? Eli asks if Tommy wants to confess to anything. Tommy's like, Ma's in hell. We gotta be pure and righteous. And Eli's like, aw, dude, that's crazy. Hey, did you know this random letter upon this pile is actually a restraining order?
What the fuck do you know about being righteous, huh? It's a restraining order.
No joke. It's delivered very quickly despite this being the first time the audience learns of this.
That ain't real.
But that's when we learn that Thomas was once married, but his wife left him a year ago. Who was the woman he married? This woman from the beginning of the movie. Who was the kid he wanted to be friends with in the beginning? His own son. Why is he living on the farm? So he could stalk them more. But Tommy doesn't even say anything. He just goes, "Mom says you two are gross and yucky." And then we learn Eli got Mary pregnant.
Look at you. You know you two had that baby.
Bombshell. Except no, he didn't, because actually it was Josiah who got Mary pregnant. Bombshell. Josiah freaks out and he's like, "Wrong, liars, liar, liar, pants on fire." But suddenly, Eli says, "Who are you talking to, Tommy?"
Fuck you talking to, Tommy?
Bombshell, which means Josiah isn't really there. Bombshell, he's a ghost. Bombshell. I'll get to that stupid plot twist, but for now, Tommy's like, "Okay, but you guys still be trucking." Eli denies it. Mary denies it. Tommy's like, "Whatever." Then Eli says,
Tommy, listen, okay? Pa's been dead and buried for 23 years now.
"Yup. So I guess I have no choice but to acknowledge this dumbass plot twist. It turns out this entire time, Josiah's been dead. Thomas has been living here by himself recently. Thomas also had dug up the grave of their father, which is what Eli was looking for just a moment ago. Then we get this awful delivery about how Josiah abused all of them, physically and worse. As soon as we're told this, we get pedophile jump scare. Are you fucking kidding me with this? And in case it wasn't clear, Eli then underlines it all again.
The old man had nothing better to do than to mark his boys and fuck his own daughter.
We then learn that Miriam had taken her life once she learned of Mary's pregnancy. Then Eli's like, "Remember? We then killed our dad? Remember, dude?" Welp, by this point, the movie now has 10 minutes left. Let's wrap it up. Mary and Eli look for Josiah's grave, which now also apparently has a baby in it. Oh, they found the grave. It was right next to the door. Eli was standing directly in front of it in broad daylight in the earlier scene. How did he not recognize it immediately? Eli begins stomping the shit out of the lock while Mary's sobbing. "Why are you guys even doing this? You just said moments ago that you're only here to sign the papers."
You need to sign those fucking papers so we can get rid of this place once and for all.
They open it up, and yup, there's two skeletons. Suddenly, Tommy... This fucking movie, man. Alright, so suddenly Tommy runs out with an axe. He immediately kills Eli. Mary decides to go into the next room and closes the door. She then, slowly tiptoes backwards. Like, dumbass, he's right there on the other side of the door with an axe. Just jump through a fucking window and run to your truck. God, you people piss me off so much. Mary turns around and approaches a vinyl. Best stop and stare for a moment. Then she slowly turns around and dun dun dun. She sees Josiah's ghost. What the fuck was the point of this? Tommy then walks in, axe in hand, and there's a fucking window right behind you. Jump through it. Go! There's now a door behind you. Oh my god! Tommy's like, "This vinyl was Paul's favorite tune." So now Mary makes a run for it. She runs right out into the woods instead of any of the vehicles, which are right there. They're all right there. She looks off into the woods, and she very slowly turns her head back around. Tommy ends up using his teleportation ability that no one talks about. He stabs her in the stomach. Callback reference. Blam, blam, blam. And her last dying words are, "Thomas, don't hate me." Cut to Josiah and Thomas in the house again. Josiah takes a swig of whiskey. We cut outside. The tree's on fire. It does look like there's a corpse in the fire, but who cares? The movie then cuts to the past one last time after everyone's dead before the movie ends. And what do we see? Eli and Mary have been hooking up. Bombshell. The end. Also, I didn't see this final scene when I first watched it because the movie's lighting is so dark, but the movie ends with there being more writing on the tree. First, there's a new sign, assumingly put up by Thomas at the end, saying, "Eli and Mary Graham. Sins paid in full." But then it falls off, and we discover there's older writing. Josiah Graham. Good riddance. Meaning everyone except for Thomas is now dead. Which we already knew. The end. And now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the video. The YouTuber's opinions. If Josiah was dead this whole time, then why did we see individual scenes of him? You wanted to give us a Sixth Sense ending so bad that you fumbled everything else. No one else knows he exists except for Thomas. Thomas's character acts as our visionary to see Josiah. Josiah should therefore exist only as Thomas's environment. So then, why are we seeing moments of Josiah that Thomas is not seeing? He's asleep when Josiah has his vision. Do you want us to believe he exists or not? Because in the beginning, you are directly telling us, yes, this is a character who has thoughts, feelings, and brand new experiences. You show us individual scenes of him witnessing new things, just to then be like, by the way, you shouldn't have been able to see any of this, because no one else can either. He's not real. Fuck it, I'm tripling down on this. Either everyone can see the ghost, or there's a plot twist as to why we, the audience, can see the ghost. Some examples that do this: the Harry Potter universe. Everyone can see and interact with the ghosts. Everyone. Or The Sixth Sense. Fucking spoilers ahead. We see that when Malcolm was alive, everyone spoke to him. Once Malcolm died, no one spoke to him except for this kid. Why? Plot twist. Because the kid speaks to dead people. We, the audience, relied on the plot twist for clarification. Or Paranormal Activity 1. We see the ghost's existence due to the environment around it. The powdered footprints, the doors closing, and obviously Katie getting possessed on camera. But if everyone, including the camera, can see all of this, that implies the rule of everyone can see the ghost. This plot twist pissed me off so much because it felt like such a slap in the face. It didn't feel necessary to the plot. The Pulp Fiction plotline, where the main characters are bound together by a key object, worked well because the key object drove the main characters to the furthest limits. But this movie feels like they weren't sure what the key object should be. Is everyone bound together by Josiah? Is everyone bound by Miriam's ghost? Is everyone bound by the house? The movie says yes. What was the point of giving us the Nazi info dump? You couldn't have just been like, I heard this group of people have gold. Go steal it now. This would have saved us so much time, which could have been used for anything more important. There was also no need for this random girl's plotline. She didn't tie into this at all. Who then just gets dropped off at the sheriff's office. It's like they wanted to give Eli redemption for whatever reason. And I say for whatever reason because then the movie ends with us finding out that he's been trucking his sister anyway. Why was Mary's chapter, who I would claim had the worst experiences of the three main characters, given the shortest amount of screen time? We got spoon-fed plot lines about Nazis stealing gold and montages of Thomas repairing the house and Josiah talking about leprechauns pooping rainbows. But Mary's story was the most impactful towards the entire plot. Josiah impregnating her is what led to Miriam taking her life, which led to all of this. Yet they hit fast forward through all of her trauma. No, Eli must drink his tea and watch a fight happen in silent slow-mo. That's more important than fleshing out a character. Just like earlier, I'm gonna dive into this more. I wrote down the timestamps for each chapter to make sure I wasn't going crazy. And I discovered that they truly robbed Mary of her character development. Thomas's chapter begins after the intro credits, so pretty much like a minute into the movie. His chapter ends at 30 minutes and 16 seconds. That's like less than half an hour, and that's not bad. Eli's chapter immediately begins the second after, at 30 minutes and 17 seconds. And his doesn't end until 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 40 seconds. That is almost 45 minutes of screen time just for Eli's chapter. Mary's chapter roughly begins at 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 1 second. However, her chapter dissolves into becoming everyone's final chapter, since it results in everyone returning home, which I would argue begins when Eli comes into her home. Therefore, up until Eli comes in, Mary's screen time is boiled down to only being 10 minutes long. Eli's character gets to go on a heist, but Mary, well, she's a woman, so it's baby fever. Again, the reason I'm making such a big deal about this is because what Josiah did to Mary is what split everyone up. Speaking of characters being robbed of development, why the hell did we get the storyline of Thomas once being married? He acts like an 8-year-old throughout the whole movie. We get no perspective towards why his wife left him or the fact that he somehow got a wife. We're just kind of given a shrug and to be like, I mean, look at him, he's crazy. He looks like he's being a loving father in one scene, and then we're immediately told Thomas is a bad man, and is so bad that he has a restraining order against him. But we're not told why, we're not told what he's done. We got an entire section dedicated to Eli paying off his stupid fucking debt and saving a random girl, which by the way happened for no reason. I will always emphasize that. Yet the movie refuses to dive into Thomas once being married, and then something awful clearly happened, and now his wife and son, who he only thinks of as his friend, have a restraining order against him. What made his wife leave? Why did he look so mature then and seemingly so regressed now? I am much more interested in Thomas's side plot than Eli stealing some stupid fucking cursed gold. Now that I've torn into this movie, and I've developed empathy, I feel like I should circle back to things I liked. I liked Boone's character. I would have liked for him to not die in such a stupid way. You couldn't even give us a cool death, just plop, there he goes. I didn't really like his dialogue, but I didn't say that. I said I liked Boone's character.
Well, you might as well start by hitting me in the deck with a hammer.
I think Eli's chapter should have just been its own movie. The slow burn effect would have worked perfectly as a standalone story. The human trafficking arc, the palpable tension in the heists, the getaway, he saves the little girl, he's a hero. And then in the end, because no one saw his good actions, he's still hated. This was really well done. Until they were like, and also he fucks his sister, roll credits. The cinematography is incredible. There were many times that I enjoyed the way the scenes were shot. I mean, simply beautiful. The random shots of the town were great, and I almost wish the movie just took place here so we could bask in its emptiness more. I liked Mary and Thomas's scenes together. It felt like she shared deep sympathy for Thomas for only reasons that these two know.
Oh, God.
Sure wished I was explored some more. I don't really have much else. The actors all performed well. Solid cast. I give one round of applause. Clap, clap, clap. And that's what Josiah saw. And that's the end of the video. Goodbye.